So we'll talk about dealing with bent bicycle seat posts. This is one seat post that got bent, and then when I straightened it, it cracked. So there's another seat post. One of my bikes got bent also. I know from experience that if I straighten this, it will crack. So I'll show you the remedies on how to make your seat posts stronger. Seat posts are supposed to be straight, but sometimes they bend. They bend here like that one. They bend that way, especially if you hit rough road when you're going fast, and then your weight goes up, and then suddenly your weight goes on the seat post. So seat posts usually bend. Now sometimes you have to intentionally bend, like if you want to have a laid back seat post, like here one. This is a laid back seat post, especially used in small bikes or BMX bikes. So you want to sit further from the position of the seat post frame. So you really have to bend it so that you will be seated farther behind. But if you don't want a bent one, this usually happens also. So this was straight before, but because of my weight and I hit the rough area of the road, so the bike jumped, like my weight jumped up, and then my full weight went on the saddle, so it got bent. Now if it gets bent this way, just replace the seat post. Don't reuse it because it's already junk. So this is what I mean. This got bent like that. When I placed it back straight, it cracked. So it's practically useless. If it gets bent, don't use it anymore. Get a new seat post, because if you make it straight, it will usually crack already. So I'll show you how to make your seat post more durable. So this is an ordinary seat post. Take a look. It's thin, that's why it usually bends easily. So to make it thicker, this is the technique I'll show you. So to make this thicker, I'll get the materials you need. So this is the original seat post. You want to make it thick so that it will not bend. The quickest remedy is to get other tubings, and then you go by increments. You get one that would insert inside. So this one can be inserted here. You cut it to length also, and then this one you can insert it here. So you'll have now 3 layers of tubing, so that will be more durable. So again, this is your seat post. You get tubing. You have to go to the hardware store or bicycle shop and get tubings, and then you go into smaller increments. So this one you insert here, this one you insert there. So instead of having only one layer of side plate, you'll have 3 layers, so you cannot easily bend it with your weight. When you're heavy and you suddenly hit a bumpy road, and your weight goes up and then goes down the saddle, so it will be more durable. So it's like this now. So this one you can insert it here. Okay, so there will be now 2 layers. Now imagine that you've inserted this one already there. After that, you insert this tubing to your seat post. So there is already a smaller tubing inside, so there are now 2 tubings here. To make it 3 layers, you insert this further. So now your seat post will be tougher. it will not easily bend even if you hit the bumpy road and then your weight suddenly goes full blast on the saddle. So it will be stronger. It will not easily bend. So you can avoid this one. So you can avoid bent seat posts. But again, don't reuse this. Change this one and then insert 2 additional layers of tubing inside so that it will not easily bend that way even if your weight crashes on the saddle on bumpy rides. Another technique you can make your seat post strong is to place a metal object inside. So you can use this, just remove this portion so that you can insert it. With this inside, it will be almost impossible to bend it with your butt while you're sitting on the saddle. Or you can use this. You'll have to sacrifice a tire wrench. You have to remove this with your angle grinder and then cut this to length with your angle grinder and then insert it. Again, with this inside, it will be difficult for your butt to bend this while you're sitting on the saddle. Now, of course, you will argue that it will make your bike heavier, but there's nothing perfect in life. These are flimsy saddles which easily bend. So to strengthen this, you really have to place something inside to make them strong so that they won't bend while you're sitting on them. So you have to choose a saddle seat post that bends all the time, or a slightly heavier bike with this inside your seat post, but you won't be having your seat post bending out of shape. You don't have to buy the very expensive tire wrenches. You buy the cheap ones, or open and close wrenches. What's important is that there is a hard metal object inside that would prevent this from bending with your weight. So you can buy cheap ones, you buy the made in China ones, or you can go to garage sales or flea markets and then get the biggest that would enter this seat post so that it won't bend no matter how heavy you are. So have you tried bending this with your butt? So of course, with this inside, you won't be bending your seat post anymore, even if you're very heavy. If you would notice, the width of this is smaller than the diameter of this, so it can easily go inside. Now, so that it will fit snugly, you don't cut it in a straight line here. This portion should be a little bit bigger than the width of this side so that it will be snug inside. Because if it is loose inside, it will be rattling while you're pedaling. It will be tak 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 doing that. So again, you cut this a little bit bigger here. Also this portion, so that when you insert it, it will be snug inside your seat post. Because if you just follow this straight line here and here and here and here, it will be loose inside and it will be rattling inside. Not only that, there is a danger that it would slip through and then go inside your bicycle frame. And once this gets inside your bicycle frame, it will be very difficult to remove this. So again, it should be snug inside the seat post. Now this next remedy is only for bicycles with steel frames. Don't use this remedy in carbon frames. You might crack your carbon frame. So this is an ordinary seat post, and then this is a water pipe. So one remedy is to get the length you need and use galvanized water pipes. Unfortunately, like this one, the water pipe is about 1 or 2 centimeters smaller than the diameter of this seat post, but you can still do it. So again, get the water pipe and then cut the length you want, and then use the water pipe as a seat post. But it will be heavy, but it will be a lot stronger. You won't experience bent seat post already. So take a look at the difference in thickness. So this is the seat post and this is the water pipe. So the water pipe is about 2 to 3 times thicker than the seat post. So if this bends, you'll have a hard time bending this with your butt in case your butt suddenly strikes or impacts the seat. So again, notice the difference. This is the seat post, this is the galvanized water pipe. You have to find the diameter of the same size as your seat post. Now of course you can argue that water pipes are a lot heavier, yeah, but my problem is that my seat posts kept on bending. So it's irritating because if you suffer from bent seat post, your handlebar will be farther away from you, so it's difficult to go home. You'll have no seat to sit on because it's bent. It became farther from the handlebar. So it's better to have a strong seat post than a bent one, especially if you cycle far from your house. This seat post used to be on my BMX. It got bent, so the seat went here, so I was doing wheelies when I didn't want to do wheelies. The front kept on going up because look, oh, it bent, so instead of here, the seat went over here. So this is the remedy. I located the water pipe of the length I wanted. Now I told you before it's a lot small. It's about 1 or 2 centimeters smaller. So I had to hack the seat clamp. Here no problem. It accommodates the seat post, the DIY seat post properly. But here I had to hack the seat post clamp so that it can be more tight in crimping this DIY water pipe seat post. The hack you should make on your ordinary seat post clamp. You notice these two protrusions. To be able to clamp your water pipe tightly, you have to remove this with your angle grinder and then grind this. Of course you have to remove the nut and bolt first, so you have to remove this and then make this surface thinner so that as you crimp it will be tighter as you tighten the screws. Because if you allow this to remain, these two will hit each other. You won't be able to tighten it to its fullest extent. So in order that this left and right portion can be closer together, you have to remove this with your angle grinder. So I'll show you. That's what I did with the bike. So here, there's that protrusion. So what I did was to remove the protrusion here so that I could crimp the left and right portion of the seat post clamp tightly together. See? So with this removed, I can now have more space in tightening. I can tighten the seat post better. because if you don't remove this, these two will hit each other and therefore will not close properly. So here, since I remove this portion, the seat post now can be tightened more thoroughly to crimp the water pipe improvised or DIY seat post. Okay, time for coffee. Oh yeah. So since I removed this portion there, so if you can see, it's already straight. There's no more protrusion. Since I removed that, I can now close it much tighter or tightly. Okay, so again, remove this so you can close it tightly so that this won't be moving down while your weight is on the saddle. See, it's already straight. And then I grinded this portion to make it thinner so that it can close much better to crimp this seat post. So now, since this is thick, it doesn't bend there anymore. Unlike this one, it bent.